and welcome back to the stately offices of the Leader of the Opposition. This was actually, for much of Canada's history, the Prime Minister's office. So joining us now, the man who hopes to move into the new office, one floor down after the next election, the Leader of the Opposition, Stéphane Dion. Merry Christmas, sir.
The same for you, Kevin.
Are there some Dion family traditions that have survived from your days growing up in a suburb of Quebec City to today that you celebrate with your family today?
Yes, I will celebrate with my family. In fact, it's a moment for the family, and we'll go to our cottage in the Laurentians, full of snow, I hope.
I think you can count on it this year.
Yes, that's good. I love it. I love winter.
Do you cross-country ski?
Yes, exact. Cross-country ski, the perfect time for me.
Well, a perfect time for reflection, too, and I think as we all look forward to 2008, there are a lot of challenges ahead for the country. The first one that may well be on the agenda is the report of the former Deputy Prime Minister, Liberal John Manley, and his Commission on Afghanistan. Is there anything you think that they could report that would have you reconsider your position that our current mission in Afghanistan should not be renewed past February of 2009?
Well, the current government gave this committee 4 options, and none of them is about to keep the mission as it is, the combat mission as it is. So the government itself is saying the combat mission cannot continue as it is. The government is not saying that at the international stage. They have double talk. Canada must stay in Afghanistan to help, but the combat mission in Kandahar, after 3 years, it's time now to have a rotation.
Is it time to leave Kandahar and that mission itself, or just the combat side of it?
The combat side of it. I think we have still a role to play for training, water management, help for human rights and good governance, certainly.
It doesn't look as if, though, another NATO country will step into the vacuum that we may be about to create militarily in southern Afghanistan. That raises a lot of questions for NATO, and I guess it raises a question of why you believe and your party believes that a military retreat is acceptable at a time when it's not clear there's victory.
Well, but it's not a retreat. We have been there for a deadline. It was a time limit. We were there until February 2007, and Mr. Harper, in the conditions you may remember, only for the 6 hours of debate in the House of Commons, decided to extend until February 2009. And we need to know if NATO works. If NATO works, you must be able to say, after 3 years of a combat mission, it's time for a rotation. Otherwise, countries will never accept a mission anymore. If that means, once you have accepted it, even though it's for a timeline, when the deadline comes, if you leave, you will be accused to live in dishonor and so on. Countries will say, I don't want to take a mandate because I know when I'm going, but I don't know when I will go out.
Let's talk a little bit about the past year, because you're now 1 year completely as Liberal leader and Leader of the Opposition. When you think back to the convention, even people like Jack Layton said that you were a man of principle, that you were a man of substance. They weren't sure you were enough of a politician. Have you become more of a politician in the year or not?
Because I'm a man of principle and substance, I'm a good politician. I'm not cynical. I think there are too many cynicism in politics. People who think that you need to manipulate the others in order to succeed. I think if you are frank, if you show what are your true values, you're sincere, your sincerity will pay off.
Do you think that you might have had to abandon some principle in the last year in order not to trigger an election that others seem to be hankering for?
No, we have done that in full transparency. If there has not been an election in 2007, it's thanks to the Liberals. Because Canadians didn't want an election in 2007, it's very clear. In 2008, after 2 full years of Conservative minority government, maybe Canadians will be willing to reconsider their vote they have done in 2006. But they needed a break in 2007. It was very clear.
What would you, because you have the power to end this government, what would you put the chances of there being an election in 2008? Above 50%?
Well, Kevin, you cannot keep a government alive when the government wants to die. You cannot keep this government forever. So, indeed, when the session will start in 2008, it will be a new ball game. The more Canadians will be focusing, paying attention of the differences, the gulf of differences between the Israeli right-wing government and us, what we have to propose as a moderate government of the center, I think then Canadians will be willing, not necessarily to have an election, never people want to have an election, but willing to focus on the campaign right away, and this will be a help for us.
Let me ask you about the Mulroney-Schreiber affair, because that's another issue that's sort of a holdover from 2007 that will go into 2008. The Ethics Committee continues to hold hearings into this. Are you satisfied that what the Ethics Committee has revealed to Canadians is enough?
No, we need a public inquiry. We need to know what happened exactly. It is the integrity of our democracy and the integrity of the office of the Prime Minister which is at stake. And this is big. The office of the Prime Minister is an important institution in Canada. We had this rumor that Mr. Mulroney may have accepted cash money in unclear circumstances. So we need now to go to the bottom of the issue, including the links between Mulroney and the Harper government. Did he lobby the Harper government for some recent decisions, like the wireless? Did he, yes or no? Did the Minister of Justice interrupted, yes or no, internal investigation that the Department of Justice started to see if we may have the money that has been given to Mr. Mulroney back? There are a lot of if and how and when a public inquiry is necessary.
You have worked very hard to learn English. You've become much better at it as time goes on. It's still not completely fluid. Do you think it ever will be at this point?
I want to be more and more fluid. Completely fluid, I don't know if one day it will happen. I guess I will always keep my French accent, but I'm working on it.
What do you think Canadians have learned about you in the last year, and what do they underappreciate about you?
I think there are two circumstances. The large public does not know me enough. They know me a lot through the negative ads, the attack ads of the Conservatives, and in French, the way the separatists portray me since years. The public I met, and I know that many of them are listening, in town halls and so on, I think it's going so well. I'm so encouraged, so optimistic. So this is why I think during a federal election, when people are paying more attention, they will see the contrast between the attack ads of the Conservatives about me and who I am really. And this will help my party tremendously.
Mr. Dion, thank you, and Merry Christmas to your wife and your daughter as well.
Oh, the same for you and your family, Kevin.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing your time with us on this Christmas. I'm Kevin Newman. Good night from Parliament Hill.